Hello, everybody, and welcome to the last tip of the year. 2020 is out of here. I'm sure there's not many people that want to relive the most crazy year we've ever had. So it is time to move on. But wait a minute, there is some time to do some things and some things you need to do end of the year, beginning of next year that will really make sure that your 2021 doesn't have potentially the same issues or similar issues to what had occurred in 2020. This is Bill the Adjuster with your tip of the year that you really need to take a look at because this one means a lot. All right, so business owners potentially dealt with the pandemic issues, closures, severe loss of business income. There are endorsements out there. There are policies. There are coverages available for pandemics and viruses. Most people don't have those type of coverages. But there are specific ways to insure yourself against business shutdowns, possibly civil unrest or civil authority that are outside the norm of a normal policy. Now, these may be expensive, but you need to make a decision on how you'd like to be covered and where you want to invest that premium. But as a business owner, I think it's time to sit down with your broker and say, let's talk about what happened to me in 2020 and how to minimize those effects going forward. Homeowners, it was a crazy year with weather. Most people had sump pump or high wind issues. Some of the other things that really affected homeowners where they had deductibles far greater than they ever imagined. They were known as percentage deductibles, where they might have had, say, a 5% deductible on their policy, or even a 2% deductible on a $500,000 policy is $10,000. If you purchase some jewelry or rings, make sure you get them specifically insured for the year. And again, the sump pump is usually the biggest one. It's about $80 a year and covers for that basement loss when the groundwater basically wins the battle in your basement. So there are some unique endorsements on a policy as well, such as what we call a roof schedule endorsement, where your roof is no longer paid at replacement cost. You need to look for those to make sure you have full coverage on your roof in the event of a loss. And I always tell people, the companies that advertise and they market themselves on the commercials are generally the ones pulling the most wool over your eyes. They're selling you policies based on advertising and marketing, but not based on the actual substance of the policy. And a general rule of thumb is if you're advertising, if you're advertising, you're generally not the policy I would recommend. I also mentioned that ISO, Insurance Service Organization, forms are generally pretty safe because they're not extremely crafted, such as the ones that are marketed on television. So at this time, you should review your coverage. You can use a Metro Claim Rep to take a look and see what might be missing, but you most likely need to go to an insurance broker to make sure that you have the coverages that meet your needs. And believe me, don't shop for what you need. Shop for what you have no idea you need. And that's really the difference. So you should really take this time to make sure that you're protected for next year. So it is winter time, so it's not a bad time to have a checkup of what's going on. And the number one thing people do wrong, and I'll say it, they don't remove the garden hose off of the hose bib. You need to disconnect the hose itself from the hose bib, or you can cause a frozen pipe inside the house. It's just the way that the frost-free hose bibs work. They need the ability to drain, and if you leave the hose connected over the winter, it has no ability to drain and can often cause a frozen pipe. So you need to check and service your furnace. Most smoke losses are the result of furnace malfunctions, being dirty, having dirty filters or dirty nozzles. Great time to make sure that that's been serviced for the year. And if you have a gas fireplace, I can tell you right now, one of the number one causes of smoke damage in a home is a gas fireplace not operating properly. That's gas logs, gas fireplace, sealed unit. If it's got flames, you're looking at them, and it's natural gas, it should be serviced. If you notice smoke or soot on your walls, you may already have a problem. We call it ghosting sometimes, where you'll see a shadow after you move a picture frame. That means you already have soot on your walls. So make sure that you get that serviced. It is time to winterize. If you have a property you don't live in full time, that means you may need to drain the water, you may need to protect the property, seal up any drafts, set the thermostat to an appropriate temperature. Now it's different. Most policies say you need to show reasonable care to maintain heat. And in this case, I'm going to tell you that reasonable in an area that goes to 20 below zero is probably far higher on the thermostat. It's probably more like 60. And in an area where you rarely get sub-freezing temperatures, it may be more like 55. So make sure you seal any drafts that could lead to a freeze. Get that property winterized, have things checked and serviced, make sure your policies are up to date and you don't have another crazy year like we had in 2020 with just a few preventative measures. So let's toast 2021. It's got to be better. Salute. If you like what you've heard on the call, please share us on any of your social media sites. We offer unlimited inspections or policy reviews, certainly those end-of-year reviews. Our goal is to prevent the risk of a claim denial. And again, if you like what you've heard, please share us. And if you want to speak, so if you have any questions, contact your Metro Claim Rep, or you can email us directly at smartclaim@metropa.com. Happy New Year, everybody.